we're talking St. Louis Blues. The additions, Nick Bjugstad and Pius Suter, to see the couple of players they lost. And we're now happy to say hello to Doug Armstrong, the Blues GM. Doug, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. It's great to see you. Tell us why you guys wanted to sign Suter.
I think just gave us some depth down the middle of the ice. I think one thing that hasn't changed is how a team is built through the center of the ice, defense and goalie, and bringing in Bjugstad and Suter just rounds out our group there. And with Shen and Thomas and Sundqvist now, like we have depth there, and we think that's going to be important moving forward.
Doug, you mentioned built down the middle. You mentioned goaltending. Now, you got Joel Hofer re-signed nicely. He was on my potential offer sheet list, and not just because you guys offer sheeted a couple guys last year very successfully, but as a GM, you obviously are aware that he would be a guy that perhaps contractually and where he falls would be attractive to other teams. Your spidey senses get tingling and want to get that contract done before he would become available for something like that?
I would say we want to get it done just to get the business taken care of. I wasn't that concerned about the offer sheet, quite honestly, just because, it would take a first and a third for us to consider even not matching. Then you look at the teams that, need goaltending. That might, potentially losing a first-round pick that could be anywhere in the top 10. You never know. Injuries happen. I wasn't that concerned about it, quite honestly. But more importantly, we wanted Joel here. We wanted to keep him here. We love the tandem that those two guys are. They work really well together, and we're just looking forward to keeping that moving forward.
Doug, going to the playoffs and the 7-game series against the Winnipeg Jets, how do you evaluate it? Because a lot of us, including myself, felt in that series you had the majority of play, outplayed the Winnipeg Jets, a lot of it in that 7-game series, and then you lose in devastating fashion. How do you process that? I know as a player, I know it's hockey, and I know things happen, but I know it would eat at me when you think you outplayed your opponent, but you end up losing the series.
Yeah, I think you just don't get over it. You move on. You have to move on, but you don't get over it. We had we played a very good series. It was a homer series up until the final game, and then you have a 2-goal lead with under 2 minutes left. You have to close those out if you want to be move forward. And they got a couple of obviously timely goals, and then in overtime, when double overtime, anything can happen. But we let it slip away. There's no question about that, and it does sting. And go back to 2000, the Jason Arnott goal still stings me too. So, and I think you remember that one. So those losses never go away.
Doug, it's interesting. Last year, about 20 games in, you made a coaching change. What's the calculus for a GM to make a change like you did about 20 games into the season? Drew Bannister is replaced by Jim Montgomery. Take us through the thought process back then and the result that you ended up having with the coaching change.
Yeah, I would say everyone is different, at least the ones I've been involved in. This wasn't something we were looking to change, Drew. We were at a point where we were growing with younger players. We were content to grow with a younger coach, live through the ups and downs, with the caveat until when Jim Montgomery became available, that changed all the dynamics. There are maybe a handful of coaches that managers consider moving their coach for if they became available. And Monty was one of those for us. We knew him from as an assistant coach here. Got a great pedigree, and it just felt like something that if we didn't act quickly, that wasn't going to be an option later on. And I felt bad for Drew because he was learning as he was going, but this opportunity was too good to pass up. And it was one of the things I talked to our owner about that. I think it happened on a Wednesday. On Tuesday night before that. He got let go. Jimmy, we weren't even considering making a coaching change, but in this industry, you react to the situation as they present themselves.
And the team certainly responded to that coaching change, really took off under Montgomery, so I guess it was the right decision in that sense. Now, Doug, you made a trade, Mailloux for Bolduc. Bolduc seemed to have a pretty good year for you. Mailloux has played a lot in the minors for Montreal. What do you like about his potential and how he might fit on the Blues?
Yeah, it was an old-fashioned hockey trade, and we don't see a lot of those anymore. Two young players. Mailloux is a right shot defenseman, a great skater, a great shot from the point. NHL defensemen, they take time to develop and mature, and he played that second year in the American League where Bolduc was in the NHL. He had a great second half to our season, Bolduc. I think he's going to be a hell of an NHL player. But when you look at the depth of our organization, on the right side, we have Kyrou and we have Snuggerud. On the left side, we have Buchnevich and Holloway, that they're signed or could be here for a number of years. And the ability to, put a right shot defenseman in there with Parenko and Falk now, allow someone maybe for Broberg to grow with over time. It seemed like the proper asset management, but it took a lot. It was gut wrenching because of my thought process on how good Bolduc can be. But at some point you have to take risks, and this is a calculated risk that we're excited about.
So is it too early, Doug, to look at expectations? As a guy running the team, I mean, last year, obviously the coaching change, alluding to what Johnny said, did wonders, and you didn't look like a playoff team prior to that. Now all of a sudden you fast track it, and the team looked pretty darn good in the great 7-game series against a good Winnipeg Jet team that ended the way it did. Does it give you more hope and more drive this summer to say we're closer to being a contender than maybe we thought going into last season?
Yeah, I think when we started, I remember my opening press conference, I said, I think we're maybe a little more competitive than people think, but they have to do that. And I think the difference now is these players that are returning know what they can do, know what they have accomplished. And so it's not as much hope as is there's facts there that they can fall back on. But as you know, and Mike know, every year, every team is his own team. There's a little bit of carryover, but not much. You have to create your own identity. But there are expectations that we should stay competitive with the group we were competitive with before. I'm excited about growth from neighbors. I'm excited to see how Holloway responds and Broberg responds to good years. Hofer's going to have a big opportunity. Really a first-year player coming in, Snuggerud. So it's a young team that's got good, solid veteran leadership that we think we have a chance to stay competitive with those teams. I'm not naive to think that, the class of the division is Colorado and Dallas, experienced, time-tested. Our job is to nip at their heels and push them and be as competitive as we can. But I'm excited about our group because I think they're up to the challenge of seeing how good they can really be.
All right, Doug, we know players we love after July 1st. We get away. We turn it off. We go back to training. We go back to whatever we're going to do. We'll see in September. As a GM, we know there are no days off, but how do you manage? Do you get a few weeks off here now? Can things slow down a little bit? Can you take a break for the rest of the summer?
Yeah, Mike, this is probably in my 21 years of managing, this is the strangest summer I've ever had. We have all of our contracts done on July 2nd. No arbitrations. Everybody's in the fold. We have, one player that's still out there that played in the American League. And so when we signed Suter, that was pretty well to put the go fishing sign up. And usually you have other things that you need to do this time of year. We're in a good spot. So, there's not a lot really to do except, dream about what's around the corner and prepare for it a little bit. But I'm not a big make work guy. If there's work there, we'll get it done. We'll talk to other teams, but I think, most guys are looking to sign their players, get their contracts done, prepare for arbitration. We don't have that to do. And so we'll just prepare, for August to get the coaches back in here. School starts early here, so
Right.
players come in, and looking forward to seeing the guys here. But I wish I could tell you, we're working hard, but we're really not doing too much now.
Well, you're talking to us, so that's plenty of work.
The computer, by the way, is off in the background, Doug. We noticed it. Tell us about the Blues' new logo and new uniforms for next year.
Yeah, it's something that we're very excited about. It got a great reviews from our fan base, it was obviously paramount. And I think it's a classic look. I think the fans like it. We've incorporated, as you can see in the pants, some different things, and it should be a good look. And our guys like it, the players like it, and it's going to be the start of something new and different for us.
All right, Doug, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Great to talk to you, and enjoy the rest of the summer.